Why do you practice Tantra or feel drawn to practice Tantra? So, I've been practicing and teaching Tantra since 2010, and I've heard a lot of responses. A lot of people ask me about this, and I think it's important to talk about, but it's been tough to do a video on this because there is so much judgment around the correct way to do it, why to do it, especially with should there be sexual practices at all, or what percentages of the practice or verbal coaching should be any sort of sexual or solo sexual practice. And there's kind of two camps there, especially if you explore somewhere like Reddit or read YouTube comments under any kind of Tantra video. People are either saying Tantra is a religion, we can do nothing, all the Western Tantra is Neo Tantra, like that is bad. Or there's the people that do a mix of everything and they just go with the flow. So, and I started off with traditional Tantra because I came from a yoga and Qigong energy practice background. Um, but I would have never been drawn to Tantra, even with loving energy practices, had there not been some sort of sexual practices, the ability to lengthen orgasms, have hours of orgasms, and be deeper connected, spiritually connected to a lover. Had there not been any of that with Tantra, would I have ever practiced any? And I think now, over a decade later, um, no, then it would have been strictly a religion. I don't want to be any other religion. So to jump into something solely for that, no. The second teacher I came to with Tantra in India, we did nothing but chanting for 60 days. So anyone new to him, new to Tantra, their practice was absolutely nothing for the first 60 days but chanting. And so mine was prescribed chanting Shiva, male god, masculine energy, chanting over and over, and doing that as my daily practice for 60 days before I could move on to anything else. Now, I know from teaching my students here and online that most people are going to drop off. If that's all they get offered to practice is chanting, and I know this because in one of my online courses, I have metrics, and each of the 9 segments, 9 lessons for each part of Tantra, I have numbers for when students actually drop off. So it'll say like, okay, this percentage of the lesson was viewed by students or per each student. The majority of people would view the yoga aspect and finish it. Breath work, close to 100% would go for the breath work. The yantra, an okay amount. Yantra is gazing. This was gazing at a Sri Yantra art design. The next was sex, and that was 100%. That talked about how to build up your sexual practices, your Kegel muscles, how to feel whole within yourself, and the practice was either divided into male, female, whichever someone decided to learn, or they could view both because they wanted to know for their partner. 100%. And then the final 9th lesson in there was chanting, which is a primary practice of Tantra. Chanting a God's name, chanting an English phrase, any sort of chanting. Can be chanting Om over and over. And I did a very simple one, non-religious, to get people started. Small percentage actually completed that one, even though I made sure to follow course instructional design and make it short to the point, like 3-minute video. So that one, even though it's the primary or one of the primary practices in traditional Tantra, chanting, anyone can do it. You don't even have to be able to speak. You can say it in your mind, even. Very few. So, what does that say to me? It says that people aren't coming for the religion or the traditional. People, not everyone, by far. So that was out of 1,000 students that I got those metrics from. Now, if I look at my like private coaching, one-on-one or one with a couple, then they're all coming to learn how to incorporate this into their sex life. But that's different. I will say that's different than courses, sure. So we can just talk about courses or in-person workshops. I came for all of it, but I would not have came if there were no ways to add it to sexual activity, because I wanted to be better at everything in my life. But the problem is that there's just so much like, oh, I have to be better than you in the world. And we don't want to do anything that's totally wrong, but there's just, oh, I want to be better than you. I'm a better Tantra student than you because I practice traditional, or I practice 80% traditional and 20% sexual. And in my courses, I try to have a large mix of everything. And in my personal practice, I have a mix of everything, but you don't have to. We're all on our journey, and over the years, you change. But I believe in it. Don't yuck someone else's yum. If someone loves something, then let them love doing it. And they probably have an understanding of other ways to do something. But it just goes back to religion of just this like extreme religion, like Christianity, like, oh, I'm better than you because I pray more, or I've read the Bible 10 times front to back. And I do get a huge amount of people comment on my videos over the years from India who believe in doing nothing but the scriptures and chanting and saying everything Western is totally wrong and evil with teaching and practicing. But this is why. Just let's do what makes us grow, what makes us feel more connected to divinity and to ourselves. All these practices are amazing, and I would say try all of them at least a couple of times. But definitely always do some sort of meditation. Meditation for me is the foundation of Tantra. Being able to quieten your mind, quiet and feel yourself, feel divinity, and then feel your other partner. If you can't be quiet, still in yourself, then you can't feel and connect deeper to a partner, only physically. Even more important as you spend years and years with a partner, to be able to establish that deeper energetic, emotional, mental, and physical, so maybe some other things. This was a challenging subject to talk about, and I want to hear why you came to Tantra, why you're still in Tantra, or why you're even just beginning to want to start. But what I wanted to mainly say is It's not wrong to practice Tantra with sexual or sexual solo things, or to even practice what is called Neo Tantra. What is wrong is throwing all this judgment towards other people. I know with my very first teacher, we were very much taught that this is the way, you have to do it this way. Everyone else is wrong. They are getting this also from written scriptures who were written by human beings who, just like all other religious texts, can be written as that person wanted to write, not as how the religion or the practices actually were. And that's also why I will bring up over and over how patriarchy influenced Tantra, making these female tantrikas serve the males. And yes, it's wonderful to sometimes serve someone, to offer them love, to have fun, wild experiences that you will hear, or be devotional to a god in that way. But it's very unbalanced, in my opinion. So that's why I don't always agree with everything written, because I don't think it always applies. I think women were more in service than being students. We don't know what actually existed before written texts. We don't know what Tantra was like 10,000 years ago. It was probably, in my thought, it was probably more indigenous spiritual practice, more connected to Mother Earth and divinity. Doing practices to be a stronger warrior, to have a better mindset, to be better at being calm in the moment, and to probably have better sex, because you have a lot of free time to get better at it, and to also try to keep a partner around so they don't go off and join someone else in the tribe. That's my opinion. And sorry about the barking dogs next door. I'm just going with this. I like to hear from students when they come to me why they want to come. And I often find they will say they want a mix, when in reality, we later break it down and they came because they want better sex with their partner because they're struggling or they're having sexual problems and they want to learn how to be better at sex, have a multi-orgasms, not be better at sex, be multi-orgasmic and that sort of thing. And with that comes doing all the other practices of Tantra. So it's about being honest with yourself, being honest with others, why you want to practice, and don't have judgment on yourself or others around that. And I'm going to be having some teachers come on, Tantra teachers, but also other types of teaching, to interview them about this. So that'll be coming on this week. I'm excited to talk about that. And thanks for listening to me today. And yeah, again, comment why you came to Tantra. And I hope you got a little info from me about why I came, why I still do it. I came for the energy and the sex, all the fun stuff. And it has left me not only with being multi-orgasmic, but being connected to everything, making Tantra a part of everything in my life.